Hope everybody's doing well. Excited for today. It's gonna be good. We've got a little bit of time before the tournament kicks off. We got what, 25 minutes, so can just chill for a little bit until then. Hey Beard, how are you doing? Nice of you to join for a tournament for Etheria. Mr. Fast, I don't know about that. I'm still pretty slow. Still pretty slow. I should probably do this. I completely forgot about it yesterday. So I didn't qualify yesterday. Sadly. I should probably have a look at what the groups are. So what is everybody using? Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Means a lot coming from Mr. Beard himself. Hey, Thief. Makes yours look puny? Nah, I'm surely not. Surely not. You looking forward to it, Thief? I think, let me double check. Yeah, Thief, you're on my side of the bracket. So, yeah, you might be on stream. Nah, surely not, Thief. I believe. Hey, Liam, how are you doing? Okay, what was the team for this thing? Like I said, we've got 20 minutes till the tournament starts, so I'll probably do a couple of things in game, and then I will go over the brackets, explain a little bit about what's going to happen, and then we'll kind of kick off. Hey, Defoe. How are you doing? So I think it was these two. I've completely forgot already what the rest of it was. I know it was this guy. Oh, let me have a look. Let me have a look again. I'm already fumbling. Freya and Ashu. Okay. No, this is an official tournament.
I can do this.
This is a official tournament sponsored by XD or Etheria. And I'm looking forward to it. It should be really good. There's a lot of people that you'll know in the tournament. Some you may not know, or you may know from playing them on ladder. So it will be a good preview of what's to come up for the Hyperlinker Cup as well. I think it's mainly people from Global that are in it though. Although there is some from EU and some from Asia, but it's majority Global. But yeah, I think I'm streaming my half of the bracket because there's 32 people competing. So I'll be streaming my half of the bracket. Adept will be streaming his half of the bracket. And then what we'll do is we'll come together for the final and we'll cast the final together. Any options for this nether quarry without Bornova? Without Bornova, honestly, your next best option is probably Rahu. Like, I know it doesn't sound fantastic, but he's consistent damage because of the follow-ups, but it will be significantly lower than Bornova's damage output.
Passion can turn the sharpest minds into fools.
So let me just do this. I need to gear them.
Really amusing, aren't they?
I'll do it after. I'll do this after stream. let's have a look at the bracket. What about Zhongli? You could use Zhongli as well. You could use both because they kind of work well together. The only issue with having them is it's a lot of wasted time from animations because the Zhongli animations for her follow-ups are quite long. But both can work. That's one of the things with Nether Quarry. A lot of it is trying to limit the length of the animations so that you're not stuck in them for too long. Oh, there we go. Do my dailies on this. Hopefully we can get lucky and get some more collectibles. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's why the green R guy is so OP, because his animations are super quick. Because that's exactly why you sometimes run Amber on some of the units as well, so that you're not wasting animations with the shell. Like instead of running something like a Jackal or something like that. Oh, nice. Can we upgrade this? We can. Nice. Zoom in. Oh, now I need to know. I need to do the other one. I think we can get this tomorrow. Oh no, we can do it now. I'm assuming this will be the next one then. Yep. Okay. So, done with that. Don't need to have a look at the notifications there. Need to do these, but I will do them off stream. What do you mean, thief? Oh yeah, I can show you our GVG. We full cleared. And did I get hit? No. How are they doing in the main tower? Nice. So that's looking like a win. This will be kind of hype. We've got Karma.
I got shiny.
Thank you for the sub, man. Appreciate it. Karma has been helping out a lot with the tournament and has been doing a lot of the background stuff. So shout out to Karma. Karma and Cast. But yeah. This week's EUC is looking kind of hype actually. We've got Abyss in the semi-final. So rematch again from quarterfinals last time. Abyss went on to win it. I would like to say, I would assume whoever wins this one goes on to win the whole thing, but maybe not. Maybe not. I'm gonna assume that Abyss has some interesting tech hidden, waiting for us. Ooh, maybe I should do this. These are the top unions, Beard. So these are the top 4 unions in the game. I can give you a quick overview of what it looks like in a second. Just let me Pantheon dis? It's not a Pantheon dis. It's not a Pantheon dis. The only reason I'm saying that is because I know Pantheon played against where is it? So Pantheon played against Elite Sedas not that long ago and lost by quite a bit. So I'm just assuming. Anybody could win it on their day. I think it will be really interesting this time around as well because we've just had the new unit drop. So whoever's able to figure out the best defenses with the new units will make it harder, probably have a better shot of winning. But yeah, the way this works, Beard, is if I go into here, you'll see we have all the top unions or guilds from China, all the top from Global. Global also includes EU, and some of the other Asia guilds. And then we have East Asia. And all the top guilds go into like a pool and they start playing against each other. And it's like a Royal Rumble until the finals where keep getting knocked out until only 2 remain. And then you have the winner. So we're in the semi-finals at the moment up against Abyss, who, if we look at the regular season leaderboard, it's the top 2 unions, so by quite a bit. So yeah, it will be good. It will be good. It will be close. It's always fun to play Abyss. Your Luvia defense got ran over by triple bulwark. Well, that is the way, Karma. If you see a Luvia defense and you just don't want it to go, don't want to get anything sent, just put everything on bulwark or put them on Moon Bunny, and you're chilling. Unless they have it speed tuned that they have a stripper go beforehand, in which case you're definitely not chilling. But that's the way. So wait now. I'll bring up the bracket and we can have a quick little look. So this is the bracket for the tournament. These are all the people competing. So I'll be casting, or I'll be covering the top half of the bracket. Adept will be covering the bottom half of the bracket. And then it will be knockout all the way through to the finals. The first couple of rounds are best of 3, and then the semi-finals and finals will be best of 5. So looking forward to it. So the first matchups, I'm pretty sure, I'm only going to be casting, these will all be going simultaneous. I'll only be casting one of the games, and then if that game finishes early, I'll jump into one of the other games. I'll ping Karma, who's in the chat, and he'll let me know where one of the other games is going on, and we can jump in and watch that. But we'll cast all the way to the final, and then me and Adept will meet up for the final, and we'll both cast the final today. But as you can see, there's quite a few big names in here. Some you might have seen before, some you haven't seen before, so it'll be exciting. The match we're going to cast at the very start is Bread versus XXWX. I don't know if any of you know of XXWX, but he is a speed demon. So I'm really excited to see what he's done with the new unit, because I've not actually played against him this season so far, so it'll be really cool to see what he's done. I think that could be a really exciting match. I don't really know which way it will go, to be honest, because I know Bread's got like an amazing read on the meta, but X is one of these players that just hides his stuff until like towards the end of the season, and then just comes out of nowhere and blasts people. Because if I go to the Hall of Glory and we have a look at season 2. So this was XXWX. So he's been in the top 10 before. He can do it. But he's one of these people that plays slightly less. So I wouldn't put it past him. I think he could be... Bread could be in for an upset here. But it will be exciting nonetheless. So it's 10 minutes until we're looking to kick off. Do we have a favorite to win? from that list. I know Rob's playing in the tournament. Kakar's there. There's a few. While I'm casting as well, just so you guys are aware, I probably won't be reading chat as much because I'll be focusing on actually casting. Hey Aurora, how are you doing? I'm doing good. Hope you're doing well as well. You looking forward to some games today? I was going to say I could do a quick fearless, but I don't think I have time to do fearless. So in fact, that's what I could do. Let me just get this out of the way. In fact, I don't even know if I have these units geared, but we'll find out.
I don't make mistakes.
You should have. You should have. You wouldn't have made a fool of yourself. I'm sure you would have done great. I'm sure you would have done great. Oh god, nothing's geared. Nothing's geared. Okay, let's make up a random team. See if I can do it. Is anything geared? No. This is the problem after GVG. I always mess about with all my builds and then I'm kind of in a state. Nice beard, bro. Thank you, thank you. I worked hard on it. Oh, we got Caston here too. As I said before, big shout out to Caston Karma for doing a lot of the background work for the tournament. It's much appreciated. Aurora, do you have a favorite for the tournament? Do you have someone you think's going to win? I think that, honestly, it could actually come down to who has the quickest read on how to use the new LD, the new kinetic unit the best. Because it's really interesting. Luvi is probably one of the first units that's came out like this, where you've got some of the top players are saying she's completely busted and like Omega broken, and then you've got other top players are saying she's useless. Like, she's so divisive that I'm not sure how it's going to go. Like, I feel like if there's someone that's got an amazing read on how to use her properly, they could just run away with it, or they could start to force a ban, which will be fun. Well, I mean, Kecker's got a really difficult round in the first round. It's Kecker versus Rob in the first round, so that'll be a doozy. I wouldn't like to put money on anybody in that match. I think that could go either way. Like, Kecker versus Rob, at least on ladder, is always one of these matchups that can go either way, and they just go back and forth all the time. I haven't actually... Rob's another one where I haven't played at all. I know. I know I'm watching Fred. I'm looking forward to that matchup though. Like, XXWX is a wild card. Back in season 2, SS2, I really struggled against him in some matchups. He came out with some really interesting defenses, or really interesting drafts, and he has some unique or just uniquely fast builds. So, be cool to see. I know before the chips, he already had a 366 speed Mio, which is ridiculous. Like, who has a 366 speed Mio? Yeah, it is, isn't it complex? Like, he could just randomly pull it. Like, I wouldn't put it past him to have some insane draft that's going to catch bread. I think it will be a really close match. I'm looking forward to it. There is some other matches in that side of the bracket, though, that are pretty interesting. So I'll bring it over again. So we've got Ronnie, and then we've got Jojo versus Watchum. Jojo versus Watchum will be another interesting one. So we've got one of the top cleavers against one of the top turn 2 players. So that could be that could go either way. I wouldn't put it past Jojo to sneak a win. I think Watchum though, when it comes to these types of tournaments, is like super locked in and has a good read for the meta. Hi Bok, I'm setting up a new character this time, but the equipment is very slow. So what shell should I use? It depends what character it is. So a lot of the shells will depend on what character you're going to be using. But a good one to just point blank use is across most things is Jackal. We've also got AMPX is making another appearance. The Speed Demon AMPX. We've got Doomsucker. Relic the God is here as well. Rob, obviously, and Kecker. We got Dextra. There's a few big names in here. Oh, we got a Mist Malone and Waytides. So, yeah. Some big ones. Where to check in? Cast God Adrian is asking where to check in the YouTube chat. Don't know if you wanna ping him. But we'll be kicking off soon. Starting out with, like I said, Bread versus XXWX. I think for this, though, I'm probably just going to call him X. It'll be a lot quicker. In fact, I don't actually know if he's changed his name back. I don't know if he's still using different characters. We'll see. Tell you what, though, when we play Abyss and he's got his own defense towers, he comes out with some weird things. But it's kind of hard to replicate any of his defenses because he's so fast. So he can just get away with doing things that other people can't. So I'm assuming that we will be going in soon. Are the battles, are they already up? Ooh, they're getting ready. They're getting ready. It's getting hyped. I really hope that we get to see some interesting use of Luvia. I'm not sure if Quano is going to come out. I'm not sure if we're going to see any of him picked yet. I still think that he's a super niche unit and does have some good use cases, but I just don't think there's been enough testing time to be able to utilize him in a tournament like this where there's money on the line. I don't know if anybody would risk it. But if anybody's gonna, it'll be AMPX. AMPX, maybe with the Rev Cleave, will have something in store. Wouldn't put it past them. Ooh, they're all filling up. There's the big matchup. Rob the Guy versus Kecker. Just trying to find... Waiting to see when the room comes up for Bread. And X. And then we will probably just kick off. I'm assuming, though, that we're probably going to see some Asal pre-bans, some Palin pre-bans. We're going to see a lot of the Archon chip being used, or the Archon card, sorry, being used. But it'll be interesting to see. I know Brad likes to use the Archon card, but it'll be interesting to see if X has came up with a way to go against that. Because primarily before he was a CC/Cleaver. But it'll be... I don't know if he's pivoted away and now he's also playing turn 2 as well. Doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo. Ooh. Who are the favorites? So the favorites will definitely be... So Bread is one of the favorites. Ronnie, Watchum, Kecker, Rob. So there's quite a few. It is now Bread. I'm in there. Thank you very much. Oh, so X has changed his name to 8. Interesting. I'm really looking forward to seeing X play. I really hope he pulls something out here, just in terms of something a bit different. I don't know what's going to happen against this Archon card, or if he's also going for it. Just need to wait and see. But I think few big matchups in the first round, but it's just going to get harder from here on. No easy round. Now, the way that this is going to work is it's going to be random selection for the first match. So they'll go in, it'll be random who gets side select. And then I think the loser chooses the side for the second match, and same on for the third. So we're into the pick and ban. Ooh. What are the pre-bans going to be? The pre-bans can actually tell you quite a lot. So Bread's banning the Lily, and X is banning the Palin. Opts for Luvia first pick. Ooh, on Moon Bunny as well. So we are getting to see the Luvia. What is the response going to be? Interestingly is on the, I believe that's the Sentinel chip. So reducing the crit damage taken. Answering with the Zhan-Chi on Amber, also on Sentinel, and Kethos on Jackal. I would assume that their Kethos is on Bulwark as an answer into the Luvia, so that the Luvia can't send the Kethos into exile. So pretty solid picks all round. Going for more power picks and kind of neutral. You can still kind of pivot anywhere from here. You could go into more of a Term 2 draft or go into a Term 1 draft. Okay, so now we're going for more of a turn 2 style. Taking the Tiamat for some solid tanking and damage, as well as the Sanya for some healing. Also giving you some turn push and that revive just for a little bit of extra safety. Now, interestingly, both the Tiamat and the Sanya are on Archon, but the Luvia is on Sentinel. I'm assuming that because the Luvia is on Sentinel, I would assume that they're running it faster and they're using that Sentinel for some extra damage reduction. Ooh, locking the Fia. Fia with Fortissimo. This is some tech that's been coming out in the turn 2 matchups. So Fia with Fortissimo actually provides a lot of healing in these turn 2 matchups. And taking the Asal as well on Batter, just an absolute powerhouse in this current meta. Answering with the Raymarie. Raymarie really good into the Asal because you can get that S1 Terminate to just kill her off before she actually gets a chance to stack up. Now, what's the final pick going to be here? Interestingly, though, the Raymarie is also on Sentinel. So it's only the Tiamat and the Sanya that are going on Archon. I would assume that the Tiamat's on Archon just because of the potential link up with Palin. And then goes for the Zhan-Li. Zhan-Li just providing some extra defensive capabilities as well as some extra damage, and also gives you that uptime on the Time Weave when she gets her S3 off. So answering with a CC pick on last, we have Navette on Codex. So because there isn't that much in the way of cleansing outside of the Sanya, trying to force a ban here with the Navette pick on 5. Now, what are the bans going to be? I feel like Bread might have been put in a tough spot here and might have to ban that Navette, but we'll see. It really depends whether the Luvia is fast enough to get off and go, oh, so the Luvia is taken out as well as the Navette. So we're going to see a lot of damage on the side of XXWX, whereas the side from Bread has probably a lot more sustain with the Sanya and the Tiamat for the damage share, as well as the shield coming in from the Zhan-Li. But he will be on a clock here with the Asal if the Asal can start stacking up and taking some of the HP and the defense away from these bruisers on Bread's side. So where is he going to send this first S3? Or is he going to go for the S2 and try and spread it across everybody at first? taking his time with the decision here. Okay, so goes into the Zhongli, trying to reduce the defense on that straight away. Also gets rid of the sigil stacks as well, which allows the Kathos to then go in with the S3, send it back. Oh, it was resisted. Oh, that's big for Bread. The resist there is massive. So he gets the S3 off, so he can no longer be cooldown reduced. Oh, that is massive. He then gets the S3 onto the Raymarie, pumping up the Raymarie's health so that he can try and get that bigger burst of damage when the Raymarie finally procs. Tiamat also brambles into the Zhang-Chi with a massive chunk of health, already putting him at half health. But the Fiamelias here, decent damage back, been healing up, stacking up that Fortissimo as well. The cooldown increase from the Kathos doesn't do much now that the Zhongli has her S3 up. They can no longer be cooldown reset. Now, is Bread going to send the S3 here, or is he going to just go for the S1 and potentially try and get a double pump? He's sending the S1, so he's going to try and stack two of those, the S3 into the S2 proc so that he can get a back-to-back proc. Bread's just kind of playing the waiting game here at the moment. There's going to be a lot of healing on his side, as well as a lot of burst damage when that Raymarie finally procs. But the Asal is still on the other side, so that Asal will start to hurt and is going to start doing a lot of damage, as well as reducing the damage on Bread's side. The Tiamat's transformed now and ambered the Zhang-Chi, which has procced the Raymarie. Ooh, the Fia comes in as well here. That could have been scary if the Raymarie could have cut in front and got the S1 Terminate on the Asal. But the Fortissimo putting in work, healing everybody on X's side back up. Okay, he's back to the S3 here. Is he putting it back on the... He's went for another stack on the Raymarie, pumping up that health so that he can increase the damage even further, as well as also giving him some turn meter push whenever that Sanya S1s. Kathos going for the S3 on the Raymarie here, just trying to send her back, as well as get the defense break. The defense break is actually pretty big. It isn't doing all that much damage, though. This Raymarie is starting to look pretty scary, but the Asal is still there as a safety net. Ooh, that Asal is hurting. Already up at 13 stacks on the Asal. If he's not able to get out of here pretty soon, it could get very scary. The Raymarie is about to proc again, though. Already up at 78 stacks on her passive. So needs to be careful here that he doesn't get procced into just S1 terminated. Does he send the S3 or does he just go for the S1 to make sure that the Raymarie doesn't proc? He goes for the S3. That's going to proc the Raymarie. Saved by the Fiamelia as well, though. And that Fortissimo putting in work again. The Zhongli's dead, as well as the Tiamat. And I don't know if the S1 will be able to terminate here. Ooh, just shy. So, first round going to X. So Bread will have the side selection in round 2. Very close game, though. Could have went either way. Just a little bit more damage there from the Raymarie, and I think it's loser chooses Bread. Pretty sure. Karma, I don't know if you're in chat. Let me just double check that for you, Brad. I've just pinged Karma, so I'll get back to you as soon as I've heard Brad. very exciting match. Probably similar draft to what we're going to see a lot throughout the day. That is a kind of a very staple draft that's been going around on ladder at the moment from both sides. Maybe not so much the Tiamat. It's loser chooses bread. So Bread will have side selection for the second match. Remember, this is a best of 3. Hi Santa, how's your day? My day's going well, man. How about yourself? Enjoying some Etheria at the moment. Got a pretty hype tournament today, so looking forward to it. Already started off with a bit of a banger of a match. And a lot more in store. I wonder if in the second match we're going to see similar draft or if someone's going to pivot away to something slightly different. Either going for either even more of a tank down team or even potentially speeding things up and going for some maybe not CC, but maybe more of a like slight cleave aggro site. Be really interesting to see. And will Luvia actually get through draft today? Like I say, a few top players think she's completely broken and some think she's pretty weak. So it will be really interesting to see. Okay, so John Chi ban and Palin ban. So Luvia first pick again, still on the Sentinel card. So what's going to change on X's side this time? Obviously, last time went for the Zhang Qi into the Kathos on 1-2. With the Zhang Qi out, opts for the Kathos again on first. But what's he going to take this time? Will he opt to take something away from what Bread had last time, or go for something completely different, or take some of the same pieces that he had last time? One of the key factors last time was probably the Asal as well as that Femelia. Wonder if he goes towards one of them. Opts for the Asal. Okay. Asal, great in the current meta, especially in these bruiser versus bruiser matchups, because she just ramps so hard in terms of the amount of damage she does, as well as limiting the amount of damage on the other side and increasing the damage that they take from the rest of your units. Bread here opting for the Zhong Li as well as the Sanya. So has that consistent healing in the form of the Sanya and the cooldown or time weave proccing from the Zhong Li, as well as the consistent damage output. X here opting for the Femelia again. Again on that Fortissimo. Probably the best build you can have for at the moment for turn 2. Because of the increased healing that you get from the Fortissimo. Now, on X's side, the Femelia is on Archon, which does make it significantly harder to control with things like a Luan, so dissuades people from picking that away. Then also takes away the Raymarie, one of the best answers into the Asal, because you can go for that S1 Terminate, so it makes it really hard to deal with the Asal. Now, what is Bread going to go for here on 4 and 5 to round out his draft? Takes the Tiamat again. Just consistent AoE damage across everything, as well as taking the damage share, so reducing some of the damage on your other units. And then goes for the Ling Lo. One of the probably primo healers at the moment. since the update. So as well as giving you some immunity, and also dissuades from a CC pick on 5, like we seen last time from X. Which probably tells me that he's looking to ban something in the 1-2, potentially the Raymarie as well. So what is X going to answer with here on 5? He still goes for the Navette, basically saying, I'm faster than you. I think this is saying, I'm faster than your Luvia, and I'm going to get off before that Linglo goes anyway. Which, knowing X, is very possible. So, a bit of a mind game going in here in the draft, and who's going to ban what. Bans the Assault and bans the Luvia. Ooh. So, the side of Bread's going to have the Linglo to get off that S3. But, is she going to be able to cleanse anything before... Or will she be able to cleanse anything, is the main thing. Because her can cleanse is 75%. Oh, she got hit by the Petrify. Even on Archon, she still got hit by the Petrify. That is massive. And now he's going for the cooldown increase. Hits the cooldown increase onto the Zhongli. That is massive for the side of X.
Your death knell has sounded.
Fiamelia putting in some good damage as well. I don't know if the Ling Lo got cooldown increased. Sanya didn't, so Sanya's going to be able to get the S3 here off. Probably goes on to the Tiamat, bumping up her damage as well as getting out of the Petrify. Ooh, that S1 almost 100 to 0ing the Navette. Survives with a sliver of health. But then lands the full team Petrify. Oh my god. 2 Archons and still lands the Petrify on everybody. X showing how CC is still king. And this Raymarie is about to go off. When this Raymarie comes back round, she is about to blow this team apart. Has the S3 here on the Kathos. Looks to send back probably the Sanya. No, goes for the Zhongli. S2 here. Onto the Tiamat. And now he has the double S3. S3 into S2. Will this be all the damage that he needs? Or is he going to go for the S1 Terminate? No. He goes for the S3. Goes for the safer play. Oh, it's not enough. He only killed 1. And he didn't cycle back round. He didn't get enough push. Can Bread stabilize from here? It's potentially doable. But it's not going to be easy. I think if he can get round to an S3 on that Ling Lo, he could potentially be okay. But the Fiamelia is coming round again. The Ling Lo's hanging on by a thread. And this Navette's actually back to full health. X going for the S1 Petrify here onto the Ling Lo. Doesn't land. So this Tiamat's about to come out. Now, will he be able to stabilize from here though? He has the option to S3 and revive the Zhongli, but I'm not sure if he will go for that. He doesn't. He goes for the Ling Lo. Now, does he go for the S1 to try and kill off that Navette this time? He was just shy last time, but no. Goes for the S2. Now, will the S3 from the Kathos... Oh, the S3 lands even onto the Archon card. Didn't get the S1 Petrify, though. This Tiamat's getting dangerously low. But the Ling Lo is coming round here. And he does have the S3, so he's got that immunity across his whole team now. This is also going to transform the Tiamat. This should kill off the Navette, if not putting her dangerously low. Procs the Raymarie, though. She won't get any turn push because she can't steal anything because of the immunity. Now, because Bread has the S3 onto the Ling Luo, the Sanya is going to cycle his Ling Luo even faster, so he will be able to get out more consistent healing. It's just, is there going to be a turn where X has enough burst damage, or he gets that CC down to just 100 to 0 this Tiamat before any of the healers get to go? Has the S3 again. Does this one go on to the Tiamat? Okay, so now every time the Sanya's S1ing, she's going to push both the Tiamat and the Ling Luo, so he's got some consistent push on his side. But X's team is still looking relatively healthy. And this Femelia is getting... Oh, he has the S3. Now, is he going to land the S3 on everybody here? He can't land onto the Ling Luo because she still has the immunity, but he can hit the Tiamat and the Sanya. If he manages to land on the Sanya, this could be really bad for Bread. He's landed on both! This Navette has landed everything. Wow. This is a showcase here. I've not seen this much consistent CC in a while. And then he gets the S3 onto the Sanya. Oh, was cleansed by the Whale Prayer, though.
Is it my cue?
S1 here. The Whale Prayer actually putting in work here for Bread. Cleansing off that Petrify. The healing is starting to reduce ever so slightly because of the turns that have been taken. And the Navette's probably not going to get around to another S3. The Raymarie is getting dangerously close to proccing here, though. I think after the Tiamat goes, the Raymarie procs, and then it will also be the Raymarie's turn. So this could be really dangerous for Bread here. The Raymarie's proccing. I don't think that's quite enough. The Sanya actually cuts in front of the Raymarie. So Bread is going to be able to heal back up. And X's side is starting to get pretty low. That Fortissimo healing is not doing the work that it was at the start of the game. In longer games, Sanya and Ling Luo are the best healers to have. But he does have an S3 here. Does he go for the S3, or does he look to stack up again and try and get the S3 into S2 proc? Goes for the S3. Half health here on the Tiamat. I don't know if he's going to have enough damage to get anything out of the way. The Kethos is going to steal the turn here, though, of the Ling Luo. So we'll get a bit more chip damage in, but the Sanya will be right behind there, assuming that she's able to resist the S3 to just heal back up. Doesn't land the S1. Oh, actually, the Sanya cuts. Unsure if that's good here for Bread. Goes for the S3. Lands the defense break on the Tiamat. That is actually pretty big. Now, he just has an S1 here on the Femelia. That will push up his whole team slightly, but it won't be enough to cut in front of the Tiamat with the Kethos or the Raymarie. I wouldn't think. Maybe the Kethos cuts. Hits the Tiamat. That was risky. Risking a Bram. And lands the Petrify with the S1. Gets the S2. Doesn't land any of the cooldown increases. And now Bread has the S3 again. Gets the healing off with the Ling Luo, as well as cleansing the defense break and getting the immunity back up across everybody. This is proccing the Raymarie, though, and the Raymarie is going to be able to S... Oh, and she brambles! She bramble terminates, and that's game. Wow. That was a CC masterclass there from X. Very impressive there, landing all of that onto the Archon card. If you've tried to land any CC onto Archon, it is not easy. But well played from both sides. Honestly, could have gone either way. Could have gone either way. I'm not sure if there... Oh, Bread's in chat. I know. 0 brambles from the Tiamat. 0 brambles from the Tiamat. It does happen, though. It does happen. Unlucky, though, Bread. And congratulations to X. I'm unsure if the rest of the matches are finished on this side. Let me just ask Karma. Because if all matches are finished on this side of the bracket, then I will be moving on to the next round. I don't know who's made it through yet, but the Fortissimo Fiamelia does put in a lot of work. A lot of people are running it on Wellspring Time Weave with Fortissimo. Some people are running it on Bloodbath, but the vast majority are running it on the Wellspring. Okay, so having a look at who went through. So I'll see if there's a matchup we can jump into. Is there anybody... Can we jump into this one? Unsure. We'll just leave it for now. We're doing a 10-minute break? Okay. So we're having 10-minute break in between all the matches. So what did you guys think of that match then? I thought it was pretty exciting. Honestly, CC is something that since the update I've not seen a lot of, so it was kind of refreshing for me to be able to see some of it. Because landing anything on the cards, it was a fun game to cast, Bread. It was. Honestly, it felt like it could have gone either way at any point. When you S1'd into the Navette with the Tiamat, it surviving with a slither of health was... I mean, it was kind of game deciding, right? If you managed to land that kill straight away, then it was over, wasn't it? Because he wouldn't have had any of that follow-up after with the CC. You wouldn't have... It would have just been over. Nahar's pretty good into the Archon card, though, because Nahar actually lands the res down as well. So, ironically, the cards have made him probably slightly, I wouldn't say better than he was, but because of the res down being such a factor into how the Archon card works, it's really good. I wonder, though, will we get to see the Luvia? Bread, do you think we'll get to see any play from Luvia today? Or do you think she'll be banned in every game? He's disappeared. So, like I say, we have 10 minutes in between the next matches. Karma is just checking to see... There is still a match going on, so Karma is just checking to see if we can get in there. But we might not be able to. Obviously, if the players are already in and playing, don't want to interrupt that, so we'll just let them continue on. But if they were at 1-1, then we'd be able to join. But so far, I can see that... In fact, I'll wait for the brackets to fully flesh out. But AMPX has made it through. Relic has made it through. Prey has made it through. Dextra. VG Curry. Rav made it through. Sylphurix beating Ronnie. That's a bit of an upset. And Choco Viz has made it through, from what I can see. One second. So, yeah. But in the next round, we actually have, it's ANPX versus XXWX. So, two speed demons up against each other. I see the matchup between Kecker and Rob is still going. So, that must be pretty close as well. I would assume that it's 1-1. And they're in their third matchup. Did Bread win? No. It was a super close game, though, and it could have went either way. It was one of those there, a couple of little things go different on either side, deciding the matchup. Sure thing. One second. It should be near the top of the chat cast. Just looking to see if there is something. I'd maybe just ping Tim 1 second. I think there is something in the top of this chat. I'm just trying to scroll up and find it. Sorry about this, guys. Do, do, do. Do, do, do. Can't see it. Tim's asleep. Sorry, guys. Let me just go up. I'm trying to find it. Okay. I pinged what I could see into the chat, Karma. I couldn't see anything other than that, though. Okay, so are we getting ready for the next round? Um... There's still one match going on. Okay, so we're still waiting on one match finishing, and then we'll be into the next round. So once that's concluded, I'll quickly bring up the bracket on stream so that we can see how all the matches have went. But I think I just got word that Kecker beat Rob as well. So Kecker will be advancing. Hey Trey Taku, I'm doing well. How about yourself? How did your matchup go, Jojo? How did you do? Was it close? Mega Antics. Archon does nothing to you. I don't know. I don't know. Archon makes it a lot more difficult for certain things like Loan and some of these softer CC characters to be actually able to land any of their stuff. So like it's very hard for a Loan to consistently land her taunt into things like Fiamelia if you're running them on the Archon card. Nerf to Loan and John Lee, but hard CC units are fine. I mean, yes and no, because although Archon hard CC units are still fine as like a pick on 5, but if you index into too many or pick them too early, you can run Archon on heavy ER stacking things, and then it's kind of okay. Triple effect accuracy Loan incoming. I mean, I know some people had been testing their Loan with some FAC on it, and a lot of people have swapped their Kathos away from HP with crit rate towards HP and accuracy to actually be able to land a lot of his important stuff, because his value comes in being able to send someone back with the strip and then cooldown increase the rest of the team. And if he's not able to do that, then him doing any damage doesn't really matter. The damage from him is just like a bonus. Him landing his stuff is far more important. So they're sacrificing that HP and the damage that you were getting on him in previous iterations of the build to just make sure that you're landing that stuff on these Archon cards. Now, he probably still struggles to land on like very high accuracy things or high res things, but it's a lot better into the Archon cards that are run for bruisers. So, see some slightly different draft. I know in the next matchup that we're going to be watching, AMPX, I've not seen him play in quite a while. I know he had actually been transitioning away from using cleave and going more towards bruisers, believe it or not, which is strange to say AMPX and bruiser in the same sentence. But yeah, he was moving more towards building bruisers than he was playing cleave. But you can be sure if he's playing bruisers, they're all going to be fast. So we'll need to wait and see. Yeah, see, I'm bruiser now. AMPX is in the chat. He's a bruiser. Oh. AMPX. See if you bring out a bruiser AMPX and it's on rev, I am gonna lose it. If you bring out a bruiser and it's on rev, okay. So the brackets are finalized, so we can just quickly go through them. Are you able to ping them in the chat? I mean, Karma is also a a rev player. Karma or Cast, are you able to ping the bracket into the chat so I can bring it across? If that's okay. Perfect. So, in fact, I think we should probably watch a different match instead of watching. In fact, yeah, Cast. Um, do do do. Okay, so let me just bring this across. Okay, so these are the brackets for the next side. So as you can see, these are all the people that have moved on. So I think in the next round we're going to be watching Watchum versus Silphirex. So Watchum, probably one of the strongest straight up bruiser players, although he does have a more aggressive side to him. He can play aggro, but he will tend to index to more of that bruiser play style. So probably slightly different to the previous matchup, but I know Watchum does have some of the best turn 2 versus turn 2 gear in the game. His gear is insane. Having fought against him quite a few times myself. So looking forward to seeing it. Glad I'm not the one up against it, have to say that. But there is some exciting matchups in there as well. X versus AMPX will probably be... if they're both playing Bruiser, I'm not sure how it'll turn out. But there could be some spanners thrown in the works there. I know AMPX is saying he's a Bruiser now, but he probably still has all of his other stuff geared. As well as having... We've got Choco Viz through against Zagiri. So that will probably be another spicy matchup. And then Waytides versus Rav, another turn 2 versus turn 2 bruiser matchup. So some big names still left in. Kecker is playing up against Saki-chan in the next round. Relic versus Cinnamon. Prey versus Ghosty. And Dextra versus VG Curry. So some big names already out though. We're jumping into the rooms. Okay. There we go. So we're going to be, as I said, we're going to watch Watchum versus Silphirex. If this matchup finishes relatively quick, we'll try and jump into another one. But I probably expect this one will go quite a while, would be my assumption. If they're both playing more of a bruiser playstyle, but we'll see. Who's sponsoring the prize pool? It is Etheria. Etheria is sponsoring it. Okay, so we have Silphirex versus Watchum. Really excited for this one. Now, I don't know if we'll see any CC coming out in this match from the side of Watchum, but we may do from Silphirex. Now, I know that Watchum does have some of it geared, so he could throw a spanner in the works with some of it, but who knows? I just want to see Luvia get through a draft. I really want to see Luvia in one of these matches. You're not shy, Watchum. Don't lie. Okay, so we're seeing the Asal ban and the Fiamelia ban. So the Fiamelia ban probably leaning more towards of a cleave / CC playstyle. Either that or just not wanting to deal with the Fiamelia in the turn 2 aspect. The Asal ban, pretty standard for having turn 2 versus turn 2 if you are not going first, because a lot of people are taking Asal first or able to lock Asal when they go from the first side. So going for the Zhang-Chi on the side of, is that Watchum? No. Is it so? I'm confused which side is which, but we've got a Palin lock with the Tiamat. Okay, so we're seeing our first Palin lock of the tournament. Palin has been running rampant on the oh, we're being answered by a Doki. So taking priority by taking the Doki away so that he can try and get that turn 1 and go before the Palin. Try and bring up some tempo. Now, locks in the Sanya for some extra safety. Has the revive there, as well as some consistent healing and turn push in the form of Sanya, and then takes the Ling Low as well to dissuade from a CC pick on 5, as well as giving you that immunity and some amazing healing as well. Also can extend the buffs that are granted by Palin. Going for the Loan lock on 5. Now, the Loan lock is interesting because the Sanya and Ling Lo are both on Archon. So the Loan is going to have a hard time landing any of these taunts consistently. Specifically with the Ling Lo there for cleansing and the Sanya, and like I said, both being on Archon, it's going to have a really hard time landing these. So more used as that control and removal of healing aspect. So the Zhang Li is out, as well as the Tiamat. So very aggressive draft here on the side of Silphirex. But will Watchum be able to survive the initial onslaught? If he can survive the initial onslaught, probably has a good chance after he stabilizes. Okay, so sends the S3 into Palin. And then where has the threat gone? Ooh. Okay, so the threat is on Ling Lo. So focusing, making him hit the Ling Lo. The Zhang Qi here, going into the Doki. Half health's the Doki with just an S1. Massive damage coming out from the Zhang Qi there. Steals the turn away from the Ling Lo. Misses the S2 reset on everybody. Ooh, that's not... Another S1 there. Almost killing off the Doki with just 2 S1s. Massive damage coming out from the Shang-Chi. Obviously does the more damage by having higher defense than the target he's attacking. Now, the Luan going for the S1 into the Ling Lo here. Not much in terms of options for what to do. Has to hit the Ling Lo because of the threat. Could have went for the S2, but... Sanya here just continuing to heal and keep the team top tough. Going for the S2 here just to extend those buffs as well as getting some whale prayers up across everybody else. Goes for the S3 here, which is going to finish off the Doki. Then gets into the Raymarie procking, which didn't do enough damage. The side from Watchum is just too tanky and has managed to stabilize. We're going to need, if Slilfrex is looking to pull this one off, is going to need a Raymarie miracle, I feel like. So Watchum here is just playing it slow, not taking any risks, just making sure that this Raymarie is under control. Gets the threat up again. This time puts the threat onto Ling Lo again. So the S3 here is now going on to Ling Lo, but like I said, because of that Archon card, doesn't actually land the taunt. Very hard to consistently land the taunt with Luan onto those Archon card units. Just kills off the Raymarie with another S1 from the Zhang Qi, and that was very clean from the side of Watchum. Very aggressive draft there from Sulfurex, but it's one of those matchups where if Watchum's able to stabilize, it becomes very hard to play out. You need to go in full aggression, and Palin just kind of puts a stop to that by managing to get that threat up onto the Ling Lo so you can't focus the priority targets. So will there be a change up for game 2, or are they going to stick to similar things? So same pre-bans as last time. Zhang Qi first pick. Now, Palin on the other side, this time not making it to the locked slot. Taken as the first option alongside the Tiamat. Tiamat, a great option to pair up with the Palin so that you can put the threat onto the Tiamat and potentially get those Bramble procs going. Takes the Raymarie with the Sanya. Sanya great with the Raymarie so that you can pump up her health to make her do more damage, as well as giving her some boosted turn meter. But we see a locked Luvia! Yes! I can't wait to see this. So we're seeing Luvia locked for the first time in this tournament. I wonder how it's going to play out. Also takes the Zhang Li. So with that Luvia, we're going to see, because there's no bulwarks on the side at the moment, it is 100% going to be able to send someone into exile, and they're going to have to play the game 3v4 for a little while. Now, what are they going to answer into the Luvia? Takes the Luan, as well as the Navette. So the Navette here probably looking to try and outspeed, or either that or force a ban, because there is not much in the way of cleansing. In fact, there's nothing in the way of cleansing at the moment on the other side. Kethos making it to 5th pick. Not something I thought I would ever be saying, but Kethos and Navette both banned out from each side. So we're seeing our first Luvia of the tournament, and how is it going to go? So Luvia going first. Most people running Luvia at the moment on a full speed build. And what target are they sending into exile? Okay, so exiles the Zhang Qi. one of the targets that will stay in exile for the shortest amount of time, but it's going to mean that they don't have as much turn push on their side. And as well as not being able to strip any of these important debuffs or putting block on anybody.
Don't worry, I'll protect you.
Goes for the S3 here onto the Sanya herself, topping up her health to try and keep her safer. And then goes for the S3 onto the Palin. The Palin has put threat onto herself to try and keep the rest of the team healthy. Massive chunk there from the S1 onto the Luan. Does get a Bramble, but not doing any damage through the shield that was put up by the Zhongli. The Luan is already ambered.
Rest now. Hear the words of absolute
Raymarie procking still hasn't even broken the shields from the Zhongli. And the healing now that is going to come out from the Sanya isn't going to heal very much, if anything, onto this Raymarie. Because of the debuffs put up by the Luvia, the healing is just reduced so significantly. And now the Raymarie is going to proc, but then she will die to the initial follow-up from the S2. Oh, no, he targets the Zhang Qi. Interesting. Probably could have finished off the Tiamat there. Finishes off it's an amber. I didn't even notice it's an amber Raymarie. I'm so used to them being on Gator. I just assumed.
Bro. Is everyone alright?
S1 here. Stabilized healing wise on this side. Goes for the S3. Doesn't manage to get off the Bramble or the defense buff on anybody. Which is pretty bad. We're going to still... They're not going to take a lot of damage, and equally they're going to do a lot of damage back. Now, the Luan's going to die here. Has already procced the Amber, so instantly goes dead.
I'm ready. The forest is watching over us. It'll be over soon.
Brings back the Luan with the Sanya here. The Luvia will be getting their S3 back up again shortly. Has the S3 back up again now. Now, who is he going to choose to send away into exile? A few potential options. Could send the Sanya away and then there's no healing anymore on that side.
Still struggling?
Sent the Raymarie. Huh? Okay.
Please leave it to me. Rest now.
Not sure what happened there.
Words of absolution.
Now, who is she going to target? Gets the Zhang Qi into Amber. So all the Ambers have been procced on the side of CypherX. So anytime someone dies now, they will go down. Watch him telling me he tested Luvia S3 on Amber, which, as we've seen, does not work. Now, these debuffs coming out from Luvia significantly reduce the healing that's coming out from the Sanya, as well as at the end, when at the end of 2 turns, they proc for some significant damage. The Sanya should be able to remove them. The only way you can remove them is through healing. Now, the Palin is about to go down here. So,
I'll handle this.
S1 here terminating the Raymarie.
Time to reel in the net.
And this match has just completely turned.
Crush them.
Raymarie procking again.
Sins are cleansed.
And now it's just the Zhang Li left. This match just completely flipped. I feel like not sending the S3 into someone else potentially cost Watchum that match, but yeah. That match was that match could have went either way, but I feel like the Amber play was a decision. Okay, so final matchup. As I've said, this is a best of 3. So winner from this one going through to the next round. So same pre-bans as last time. We see the Fiamelia and the Asal both taken out. So Zhang-Chi on the side of Silphirex and Palin plus... Now, he could potentially... Takes the Tiamat. So the Tiamat, as we just saw in the last matchup, really good pairing with that Palin. Gets the additional brambles coming out from the Tiamat, which is significant damage across the rest of the team. Now, same draft as last time, goes for the Raymarie and the Sanya. So the Sanya giving you that significant healing and turn meter push, as well as ramping the Raymarie's damage. And it's also a takeaway from the Tiamat because that Sanya likes to be paired up with the Tiamat to do the same thing. Now, the exact same picks on the other side goes for that Luvia yet again, as well as the Zhang Li. Now, difference here, we see the Plume taken alongside the Navette this time, looking for that additional way to strip and to get rid of those defense buffs on the side of Watchum. And then we have the Ling Luo. Ling Luo looking to give consistent cleansing, as well as put up that immunity to stop any form of CC.
I don't make mistakes.
Okay, so who is he going to send into the exile this time? Okay, so exiles the Zhang-Chi again. Same decision as last time. Worked out pretty well for him at the start of last match. Stops that consistent turn push coming round, but does have the Plume this time to give him that 8% turn meter push every single time one of the units on the other side goes. Now, he does have the Plume here to try and strip away some of these Bramble buffs as well as the defense up, but it will then just get reapplied by the Zhang-Chi. However, there is no cleansing on the side of Watchum. So if any of these defense breaks do land, they are going to stick. And they've landed on the Tiamat and the Zhang Li. Landing on the Zhang Li is massive because it is going to significantly lower the damage output from the Zhang Li.
Don't worry. I'll protect you. Is everyone all right?
Sanya putting the S3 onto herself again. Goes for the defense, gets the defense up across everybody. This time the Raymarie is breaking the shield. And he's landed the defense break onto the Raymarie, which is actually pretty good because he's going to get more damage onto the Raymarie now. As well as landing the S2 here. Got 2 debuffs, so this Sanya S1 isn't going to heal really anything. Keeping that Raymarie low. Now, where does the Tiamat go? Or does he decide... Goes straight into the Raymarie. And almost killing off that Raymarie. That Raymarie is dangerously low. She is very close to proccing, though. 87 stacks out of the 100. She is... And she goes down to the Zhang Li. Into her Amber form. Already proccing the Amber is great, especially considering that he did it before the Raymarie actually procced and hit those 100 stacks.
Is everyone all right? Can't underestimate them.
Now focusing down the Plume. The Plume is not on Amber, so doesn't have the safety net of having an Amber there.
Better watch out.
The Plume Quills are stacking up though. Already 6 on the Tiamat as well as 4 on the Zhongli. So that damage that's going to be coming out from the Raymarie when she comes back out of Amber is going to be ramped pretty significantly. Now, sends the S3 here, this time onto the Plume, which will give him even more turn push. A lot of turn push on the side of Cypher X. Now, continuing to focus down the Plume. Threat is still up on the Palin, so doesn't have a choice in who he's going to target on the side of Watchum. This time sends the Raymarie into exile. Now, the Raymarie will stay in exile for the longest because she has the slowest turn speed. So she's going to stay in exile for quite a while, which will give Watchum some time to try and get rid of the rest of the team and then deal with the Raymarie at the end. Now, the Tiamat is getting pretty close to transforming. She's at 6 stacks at the moment. So when that tick comes through next from the heal over time, or she dies and goes into Amber, she will transform. The Plume, however, is not taking that much damage because the defense break is still on the Zhongli. This defense break has stuck for the whole game because of the lack of cleanse. Now, the Tiamat here should be able to do a decent amount of damage. Massive chunk there. But the damage coming out from the Zhongli is just not there because of the defense break. Now, the Zhang Qi is about to take a little bit of damage because of the Luvia debuff, unless it's healed off. No, still has 1 stack, so we'll take a bit of true damage there. 4,500 true damage. This is starting to look slightly rough for the side of Watchum. The Raymarie is at the back of the turn meter line. Once she comes back to take a full turn, then she will come out of exile. Watchum, if the Luvia is still alive by then, should have exile back up again to resend into exile if he wants to. The threat is now off though, so can target anybody he wants. This is starting to look pretty scary. Decent damage coming out from the Zhang Qi here. And then he's got the S3 to go in again on Plume. Gets the defense break across everybody yet again. The Tiamat does Bramble, almost killing off the Plume, but the Luvia is down. Oh, and that could be it. That could be game. He needed that safety net to be able to send the Raymarie back into exile. Now, does have the Palin S3 here. Who does he decide to put it on? Puts the Palin S3 onto Tiamat, going for those Brambles. Because I think that is his potential only out. Gets the Bramble there. So the Brambles when you have Palin on your side of the... And gets another Bramble! And transforms the Tiamat! Are we going to see a Tiamat 1v3? She's Brambled again! She's trying! Tiamat is trying! Now, could go for the S2 here. Try and get the defense break onto the Zhang Qi, which will lower his damage. Ooh, goes into the Amber. The whole side is getting super low, though. But this Raymarie is creeping. This Raymarie is creeping up. And she's already at 75 stacks, so as soon as she comes out, it's when this Tiamat goes again, she will proc. And that defense break is still on the whole side of Watchum. Ooh. So the Sanya going here. Didn't proc. He does have the S3 here on the Zhongli, so he can get the defense buff up, which will mitigate some of the damage. Oh, he has the block on the Zhongli, so it doesn't actually get the defense buff or the shield. And because the healing and the shielding is so low at this point, even the shields that went across were not that big. Now, this Raymarie is, yeah, that is game. Super close game, though. Feel like it could have went either way. Holy. We may have... What? Were they supposed to be other sides cast? Karma? Were they supposed to be other sides? No, Watching wasn't Sanya. Sorry guys, 1 second here. I wasn't looking in chat, and Watchum had asked for first pick in that match. But then didn't get first pick. Picks are random. Honestly, Ronnie, I'm not sure. Sorry guys, I'm having to... It's random? Okay. If it's random, then that's fine. Because if everybody's doing different things as well. Such a cringe way to lose. I mean, yes and no. Like, I agree, but I also think that if Watchum had S3'd someone different in the first match with Luvia, he probably wins that instead of sending it on to the Raymarie who was in Amber. But he said he wanted to test it. So I agree, but I also kind of disagree because he could have won there, if you know what I mean. But let me double check. Like I say, I wasn't reading chat when I was casting. Hmm. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Do we have cast? Do we have how the rest of the brackets have went out, or is there any matches that are still ongoing? Now the vibe is gone. Nah, the vibe's fine. The vibe is fine. It'll come back. I'm looking forward to seeing who is in the rest of the matchups and how the other side of the bracket is going. Because I would assume the tournament favorite is probably Kecker. It'll be interesting to see if he actually makes it all the way through. And we're still waiting on the Waytides match. Now, Waytides, I remember a couple of seasons ago, just locking Tiamat every game against me. So it'll be. I wonder if he's still doing the same thing, because Tiamat is now significantly better with the Palin lock, or with just Palin in general, especially with that Archon card as well, because it's hard to consistently debuff her while she has that. So we've seen our first Luvia anyway. So what's your guys' thoughts on Luvia? Overpowered, strong, weak, just right? What's your guys' thoughts? Personally, I think being able to just send a unit into the Shadow Realm for 2 whole turns is massive. I really like sending units that are super slow into exile, because then you just get that extra value from having them in exile for longer. Thief, thief. Why you always got to come at it like that? Trust it to be you, thief. It's always you. I didn't ask that. What do you mean? So we're having another, I think it's a 5-10 minute break between the next round, so that the players can obviously, after the round ends, go get a drink or go to the toilet, etc. The bracket, we're still waiting on the bracket, Andy. Once the bracket is there, I'll bring it up and we can have a look. Can't see Waytides? No. So I think they're already in the room. Is it Rab versus Waytides? 1 second. But I can show you what the rest of the bracket looks like at the moment. So we're still waiting on the winner from this matchup, but at the moment we have Chocoviz versus Slifer X. We have XXWX versus the winner of Waytides versus Rab. We have Relic versus Kecker, and we have Prey versus Dextra. So still some big names left up in the bracket. Who is everybody's favorite to win? I would assume most are thinking Kecker will probably win at the moment. But I wouldn't be surprised if XXWX sneaks away with it. Like, X is looking pretty strong. Thanks, beautiful. uh, I will say though, I'm a little surprised that we've not seen any kind of niche picks yet. Everything so far has been pretty standard. I think the strangest thing for me was seeing a Ray Marie on Amber. I can't remember the last time I've seen a Ray Marie on Amber. Yeah, my bet's on X. Well built CC is the strong. That is very true, Thief. X is X is a super strong player as well, and has always been good in the CC heavy meta. So, yeah, it will be super interesting to see. But then again, Waytides has always actually been pretty good into CC, if my memory serves. Because he primarily just played turn 2. He did have a bit of a cleave pivot, but because his turn 2 was so strong, it had a lot of answers into CC, at least when I used to play him before. So I think the next matchup. Oh, Amber Tech may have won him the game. It very well could have. It very well could have. I don't disagree. Because when the Ray Marie was proccing, she wasn't doing all that much damage through the Jean Li shields anyway. So just having that extra life and that bit of a safety net actually came in pretty clutch, to be fair. Because in both games with the Amber Ray Marie, it procced both times, and then when she came out, she was a bit of the reason that they won. I will be 1 second. I'm just gonna grab a drink. Rolling off stream. Oh, I needed that. Quite a lot of yapping without a drink. Do you think anybody will pull out the Quano today, though? Will we see any of him? I think if we were going to see any of him, it probably would have been on the side of AMPX if he was going to pull out a Rev Cleave. But I feel like with him out, we're probably not going to see. Quano would be insane. Do you know what? I think people are underrating Quano's damage. Quano can actually deal some significant damage. When I was playing him the other day, after he gets an S3 off, his S1 can hit for like 31k. The issue with him is trying to keep him safe. It's really not easy to keep him safe. You've not seen Quano in action? He's really high damage, but like I say, just hard to keep him safe because there's so many strips in the game at the moment. Like you have Zhang Qi in basically every game. Now you have Luvia with a strip on her S2. There's Plumes there. There's just so many ways to strip. So, if you can sneak him into a draft with no strip and low AoE damage, I think he could pop off. But if there's ways to keep him safe with Val or Aaron. I mean, yes and no, because even if you're wanting to run him with Val or Aaron, you can still just focus him, and you'll just pop the Val pretty quickly. And the other thing is, why would you want to play a Valyrian Aaron comp with Quano when you could play the same thing with Asal is one of the issues at the moment. Because Asal's just kind of better if you're wanting to play that type of comp. Can't you LOS Archon? So when I was playing him yesterday, I was running him, yesterday, I was running him on Void. So I was running him on Lost Islands and I was trying it out. And like I say, he was pretty good. You could get the S3 and the S2 off but then after that, it was the occasional S1. Most of the time, once he was out of Void, he just kind of got killed instantly. Because you can't really, at least when I was testing him, I couldn't really afford to run him on Bloodbath because he just didn't deal enough damage. So you needed to run him on full damage, which meant he's pretty susceptible to the AoE. I think there definitely is a niche for him. I think he's going to be like a super meta-dependent unit, where if the meta evolves in a way that's actually good for him, like if there's a lot of single target stuff, then I feel like he would actually do pretty well because he's not going to get chipped by that AoE. But because you need to run him on like full damage, the massive amounts of AoE coming out from things like Tiamat, Zhonqi, Zhonli S2, Raymarie, all just put him in like a super scary spot. Because you can't consistently keep that void state up. I mean, you could run him with things like a Ling Lo to try to, but I feel like there's just better things at the moment. Check the group chat? Sure. Sure. So next we are going to cast, in fact, yeah. So next we're going to have a look at Choco. So Choco Viz in the next match. We've not seen Choco Viz playing, but he'll be playing up against Silphirex. So interesting to see how it goes there. Okay. So I will jump into the room now. When they let me in. Yeah, bruisers at the moment are dealing a lot of damage. Especially a lot of the HP scalers and the defense scalers, because they got massive buffs from the chips. I feel probably slightly more so than the attack scalers. At least in my experience. Like I feel like my Raymarie and my Zhonli and Zhonqi, for example, are dealing significantly more damage than my Messiah is. Like my Messiah kind of feels much the same as he did before, whereas they just feel way stronger. Okay, I'm assuming... oh, there we go. We're in. So, do we have a favorite for this matchup? Anybody in chat have a favorite for who's going to win this? Chocoviz up against Silphirex? And will we see another Luvia? Now, I really want to see Luvia alongside a CC pairing. Because she has that strip, as well as the ability to just send a cleanser into the Shadow Realm for a couple of turns. So enable CC to just get off everything without anybody being cleansed. And even if they have a healer, healing through the debuffs is very difficult. Did I already tell everybody that I'm the surprise challenger after the fight? No. Are we okay to start, Karma? We good to start? Is everybody else ready? I believe so. If you're ready, you can start, Choco. Waytides won. Waytides is in the other matchup against XXWX. So, depending how this matchup goes, if they're not in game 3 or if they're still playing in the other matchup, we can potentially jump into that one. Okay, so the Jean Chi and the Fiamelia banned out. So the Luvia is open, but opts for the Kethos first. Is this going to get locked? Now, interestingly here from Choco Viz, this is the first Gator or Gladiator that we are seeing in the tournament. So this is the first Gladiator card that we're seeing in the tournament. Okay, and then he takes the Jean-Chi and the Raymarie on the other side, gets that consistent damage output, as well as that massive burst in the Terminate coming out from Raymarie. Now remember from last game that Raymarie is on Amber, so doesn't have that healing and extra damage that they would get from being on Gator. Ooh, interestingly here, we have a Ling Lo, but the Ling Lo is on Lighthouse, of all things. So just to make sure that she can push back up if there was to be any cleave. Also get into Raymarie, because whenever the Raymarie procs, it'll proc the Lighthouse. So with the Tiamat on lock, and then taking on the other side, we have the Sanya. Sanya being locked and very high priority in this tournament so far. And then the Asal on the other side, just great overall in the Bruiser matchup at the moment. Taking the Aaron great to get some damage mitigation out, as well as some crowd control in the form of the pushback and a debuff from the defense down. Potentially looking to steal some of the buffs on the other side because they're not on Archon. The only unit on Archon so far is Sanya, so may be able to steal away those important buffs from the Jean Li. Very good pick into the Jean Li. Also giving you some damage mitigation, probably on the Tiamat. Now, the Palin making it all the way to 5th pick. So, super strong draft here, looks like, coming out from the side of Chocoviz. Most of his draft is on Gladiator. So the way that Gladiator works is the lower your units get, the more damage they deal, as well as they get higher damage reduction. So super strong card here, the lower they get in health. Very unimpactful when they're at full health, but super impactful when they're at low. And then a Fushu for the last pick. Fushu just giving you consistent healing as well as turn meter push. Very good pick there. So we've seen the Ling Luo taken out. Ling Luo to try and take away majority of the healing on the side of Choco Viz, and the Asal taken out so that they can try and maintain all of their damage stats, as well as not just get run over by the Asal in the late game. Now, I think a lot will ride on where this threat goes. So puts the threat onto Tiamat here. So with the threat on Tiamat, looking to try and get those brambles in, so that is the main way that they're going to be healing on the side of Choco Viz. Now, I would assume he's going to put the S2, goes for the S2 onto Kathos, making sure that the Kathos has that damage reduction and can get in front of the Zhongli, because he's looking for that cooldown increase straight away. Now, where is he going to... Is he going to go for the S2, or will he just go straight away for the S3? Goes for the S3. Targets the Fushu and hits. Holy, that must be a high accuracy. But did get cut by the Zhongli. That is massive. So gets that S3 off, stopping the Kathos from resetting any cooldowns. So the Fushu's not going to be able to get the S3 up for a little bit. But once she gets to her turn, she will be able to proc that. The Raymarie proccing here. Gets brambled by the Tiamat. Now, held the S3 here on Aeron, importantly, so he can try and send someone back. Sends the Zhongli away, as well as stealing away the buffs from the Zhongli. Pretty important because he takes the defense buff away from the Zhongli, lowering her damage. And then the Kathos steals the turn of the Fushu, so he's not actually able to get this Fushu S3 up and running. That worked out super well for ChocoViz. Now, sends the S1 here into the Zhongli, just looking for a bit of chip damage. It's going to be healed up by the Sanya. This Tiamat is brambling, though, and will transform here. This is where the Tiamat gets super scary, because he's going to have to keep hitting into this Tiamat, and this AoE could keep propping over and over. Already pops the Amber on the Zhongli. Even though there is no dedicated healer on the side of ChocoViz, his whole team is looking super healthy. And the Zhongli's already dead! Died in Amber. Holy. And the side of Slelferex is looking pretty rough. Now, does have the Sanya coming in here. If that was a Bramble, that would have been so scary. So can go for the S2 into Kathos here. Changes it onto the Tiamat. Looking to just pump with Tiamat now. Gets the defense break onto the Fushu, but importantly, the Fushu is going to get the S3 off, which should try and let Self-Rex stabilize. Because now he has that consistent healing, so every time he gets hit, like this, he will get that proc of healing coming in from the Fushu, with the heal over time adding as well. Now, does he bring back the Zhongli? No, opts to boost up the Raymarie's health so that she can try and deal more damage. Lands the S3 onto the Raymarie, sending her back. Does he go for... Lands the S2 as well, so she won't have her passive. But then gets the stun. Bramble stun onto the Kathos. That is pretty important, actually. Now, this Tiamat is going to look pretty... Oh, gets another Bramble. The Raymarie is getting pretty close to proccing, but because this is not a Gator Raymarie, the damage is not as scary as it could be.
There's only fear.
Procs the Raymarie here. Ooh. Does get a Bramble, but it's not enough. The Tiamat has came out now. And the Palin is probably going to have the S3 up here again to put the threat back onto the Tiamat. Because this is the point where it's pretty scary for ChocoViz, because he doesn't have that threat up, so the Raymarie can just kind of hit away. Okay, gets the threat back onto the Tiamat. So has the Bramble buff now on everybody. The Bramble is how they are looking to heal. But as I said before, most of ChocoViz's units are on Gladiator, so the lower they get, the more damage they're going to deal, as well as the less damage they are going to take. So lands the S3 here again, keeping this Raymarie controlled. I feel like ChocoViz is just looking to wait out this Fushu at this point, because once the Fushu comes out of the S3, the Tiamat's probably just going to be able to run over the game. Also looking for those Brambles. I would assume potentially goes for the S2 here. Might go for the S1. Goes for the S1 onto the Raymarie. Looking for those Bramble procs. The Tiamat is brambling. Now, the Raymarie is going to proc here again. How much damage is it going to deal? A decent amount of damage. I'm not sure if it's enough, though. The Tiamat has transformed. And the damage is coming out. Can Sylphorex survive? Pumps up the Raymarie even more, trying to get some additional damage out in the way of the HP. But this Aeron combo in conjunction with the Kathos is just able to keep this Raymarie fully under control, sending her back at every opportunity that he gets.
They are mine to sculpt.
S1 here onto the Sanya, just a bit of chip damage, but the healing on the side of Sylphorex is getting significantly lower. Everything is starting to get really close to dying every time this Tiamat procs. But on the side of Chocoviz, his units are starting to get dangerously low. Oh, it just doesn't finish off anything. Oh, this is getting super tense. This could go either way. That threat, though, is still on the Tiamat, so he can't target anybody else. Steals the turn away from the Raymarie. Has the S3 here. Who does he go into? Goes into the Raymarie. If it brambles, it brambles! Holy! And then what? Holy, it just changed on a dime. The bramble at the right time. But the healing is getting lower. As I said, that Raymarie is still pretty low. Now, he has the S1. Oh, he goes for the S3.
I offer myself to the crowd.
Goes for the S2 for the defense break. The Tiamat is pretty low now, though, so the damage that's going to come out from her isn't going to be that high. It's not enough. The Raymarie will execute here with S1, and it is game. That was a tense one. I'm not going to lie, I thought Chocoviz had that, but then just couldn't get through the Fushu healing. Once that Fushu was up and running, the Tiamat just wasn't able to deal enough damage to get through it. That was a great game. Now, what's going to change in going into this game too? So we see the Fiamelia ban as well as the Zhongqi. Goes for the Luvia first pick, which is answered by the Asal and the Raymarie. Now, 2 power picks and 1 kinetic so far. But will the kinetic actually make it through the draft? We haven't actually seen the Luvia win a game yet. So we see the Tiamat taken here alongside the Sanya. Super powerful combination. What is Sylphorex going to answer with? Takes the Palin. And then the Zhongli. Both the Zhongli and the Raymarie are on Amber, so giving them that extra safety net. Allowing them to die and then come back in that ice state. So goes for the Aeron here. And what is the final pick going to be? Goes for the Kathos. Now, I'm unsure on this draft, to be perfectly honest. But what is the 5th pick going to be on the side of Sylphorex? Hovering the Loan at the moment would be good to go into a single threat comp. Removes the Tiamat. This is what I was scared of on the side of Chocoviz. If you remove the Tiamat from that team, although there's a lot of control, there isn't much in the way of damage. Whereas on the side of Sylphorex, there is a ton of damage. And he's able to get this threat off, which basically means he's able to control who he wants sent into exile.
Let me see what you're worth.
So he chooses, he puts it on the Raymarie. Now, interesting interaction with this is once the Raymarie comes out of exile, she's still going to have that threat on her. So as soon as she comes out of exile, he'll be forced to target her. But like I say, there's not that much damage on the side of Silphirex. However, I think the main damage will probably be coming from the Luvia debuff, because there is no way to cleanse it, and the only healing is in the form of brambles, so it's very inconsistent. So if this Luvia can stack up these debuffs, it could actually deal okay damage. So sends the S3 here, manages to steal all the buffs off the Zhongli, goes for the S2 for the, but won't be able to get any cooldown increases because the Zhongli already is in that S3 state. Pumping up the Kethos makes sense because Kethos is probably your primary damage dealer if you're looking to cycle him with Aeron. Gets those debuffs up. Now, like I say, because there isn't very consistent healing on the side of Silphirex, these debuffs will actually start to hurt. Lands the defense break. Has defense break on both of the defense scalers, which is actually massive, lowering the damage on that other side as well. Already proc the Amber, and as you see, when they go into Amber and they have that debuff, they aren't able to heal. So they go into Amber and it's almost like they're wounded. S2 here going in onto the Luvia, getting the defense break, but because the Zhongli had defense break on her, not actually doing all that much damage. And the issue here is she's got 3 stacks of this debuff on. If he's able to put her into Amber, the Amber's going to have no health and she's going to basically instantly die. It's going to be like she has wound on. Gets the defense break onto the Zhongli again, just making sure that he can deal more damage. Gets a battle will proc as well. Oh, that instantly ambering her with 0 health. But the Raymarie came out at the perfect time and still has the threat on, so he's not able to finalize the kill. Is the S2 coming up here from the Luvia? He will have the S3 coming up though. Now, does he put the threat on someone else? No. Decides to keep the threat onto the Raymarie. Who is he going to do? This is so tense. If this Zhongli goes down, that is game. Only has the S1, so not able to send anybody into exile yet. The Zhongli's going to survive on 0 health for this whole thing. So she will be able to come back out. Will that be enough, though? Needs this Raymarie to start... The Kethos steals the turn, so she's still in and then is able to kill him off. Oh, she was so close to making a great escape, but not quite. Kethos shuts it down. And then he can exile. Who does he choose to exile? Exiles the Raymarie, so now the Palin is in a 4v1, and there's nothing she can do. Slowly going to chip away at the Palin's health here, and then can just deal with the Raymarie 4v1 after. Although this started looking like a bruiser versus bruiser matchup, it turned into a full-on control matchup. When you remove that Tiamat, although like I was saying, the damage was on the lower side, it is super high on control. So the Palin's going to die here, and then the Raymarie will come out of exile. She does still have her Amber, though. But, like I say, when they die and they have this debuff from Luvia, they're not actually going to get much value out of the Amber. It's gonna put them into that ice state with 0 health. And Choco Viz takes that game. Ooh, banger game. Banger games back to back. And now we're in for final round. We see our first Luvia win as well. That was a cool one. So what's going to change for this matchup? Okay, so Zhang-Chi as well as the Fiamelia continue to be banned. Chocoviz taking away the Luvia again, and slight adaptation here, going for the Zhongli and the Raymarie 1-2 from Silphirex. Now, how is Chocoviz going to answer? Going for the same draft as last time so far, takes the Tiamat, which is on Gator, going for the more aggressive style, and then takes away the Sanya, who is probably the primo healer at that moment. Oh, Silphirex going for a more aggressive comp, locks the Doki. Now, who is he going to take with the Doki? When you lock the Doki, you need to index all in on aggro. You can also go towards CC. So there is still options. Takes the Kathos. Okay, Kathos providing some control. Chocoviz going for that Ling Low on Lighthouse, allowing him to cut as well as put up that immunity. It is on Archon, so will be pretty difficult to control. I would imagine if it's on Lighthouse though, it probably is more HP orientated than it is effect resistance. And then for the final pick, what is he going to pick? Goes for the Zhonk. Zhonk is super good into aggressive playstyles because of that Bramble just being able to heal him up, as well as his S3 just removing 65% of their HP. With 2 HP scalers and a defense scaler on the other side, that is massive. Now the Lilium pick as the final answer from Silphirex, looking to just go in and S3 someone, removing a massive chunk of their health. Takes away the Tiamat and takes away the Lilium. So a lot riding on this junk here, but there is a massive amount of healing, whereas there's no healing on the side of Silphirex. So he is on a clock. The Luvia also making it through the draft. Now, will this Luvia actually get to S3 anybody? She does have the Moon Bunny, so can't get sent back. Does he just go for the S2 here, or does he send someone back? Sends back the junk, doesn't cut back in front of the Luvia though, so someone is going to get sent to the Shadow Realm, but who is it going to be? The Sanya cuts in front, so I would assume he puts the Sanya S3 either onto the junk or onto herself.
Don't worry, I'll protect you.
Puts the Sanya S3 onto herself, just making sure that she's topped up. Increasing her maximum HP as well, which will increase her overall healing. Going into the Luvia, trying to get as much damage onto the Luvia as possible. Now, there's a few decisions here on who to send into exile. It's either Raymarie or Zhongli, in my opinion. Goes for the Raymarie. The Kathos and the Zhongli together, though, are still dealing consistent damage. The Ling Lo, though, having the S3, gets that immunity up across everybody, as well as stacking those whale prayers. Now, those whale prayers may come in clutch over the course of the match, just getting rid of some of those debuffs. This Zhongli, though, is dealing some decent damage. Kathos, though, manages to strip everything. And the Luvia is going to go down here. Luvia is down. But the Zhonk, Ling Lo, and Sanya are going to be really hard to get rid of. They have a lot of sticking power in terms of they have so much healing. And they actually have decent damage. And like I said, Silphirex is on a clock here. because he doesn't have any healing on his side. He has the initial shield from the Zhongli, and he will be able to reset that with the Doki, but after that, there's nothing until he can potentially cycle back to it or gets lucky with the Time Weave procs. So I think the Kethos is going to go down here. Does. So the Raymarie is about to come out of exile. And we're in for a 3v3. It's going to be a 3v3, however, it's 2 healers and a very beefy Jiank on the side of Choco Viz. I feel like unless the Raymarie gets some decent brambles or some opportune timing with the S2, it is going to be very tough to break through this. There is a massive amount of whale prayers across the whole team on Choco Viz as well. Lands the defense break onto the Jiank. The Raymarie is getting kind of close to proccing. The next time she comes round with that S1, she may be able to proc, but I'm not sure it'll be enough because the Sanya is going to full heal the Jiank here. Just deciding where he's going to put the S3. Could continue to put it on the Sanya or could spread it across the rest of his team. Goes for the Jiank so that he can also turn meter push the Jiank.
Just in time.
Now, from the side of Choco Viz, can just afford to take it slow, isn't really in a rush, can try and wait out the Zhongli, because has that Lighthouse. Lighthouse didn't even proc on Linglo there from the Raymarie. So we'll just try and deal with one unit at a time. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is if he can get some opportune timing with the Jiank, Jiank has wound on the S2, so he may be able to just instantly amber someone with the S2 into an S1 follow-up eventually, when the healing gets lower. So the Zhongli's got her S3 up again. This may be the last shield, unless the Doki's able to cycle back to the S2, or they get lucky with Time Weave procs on the Zhongli. Changing focus into the Sanya now. So, focusing the Sanya is kind of... Ooh, is she in S1 Terminate range? Not quite. Oh, but the Raymarie procs! And the Sanya's down!
Don't you dare try to stop me.
Out of nowhere! The Sanya just deleted. Everything just went perfect. Zhongli is sustaining perfectly for the side of Silver X. Who needs a healer? Now, is there any hope for Choco Viz here? He does have a Jiank. And oh, the bramble into stun. But he has the S3 here. So he has the S3 to put up this immunity across the Jiank and the Linglo. And it's always scary hitting a Jiank. The Jiank can just continually bramble and sustain himself if he gets lucky with the brambles. The Linglo is down. Now, it's all on Jiank. Can he 3v1?
Will remember me.
Can kill off the Doki here. Does he choose to? Kills off the Doki and puts a wound across everybody. It's a 2-turn wound. Oh, but the Zhongli is cycled back to her S3 again. Jiank is brambling. He's still brambling. But the Zhongli with the S3 up, it's not enough. He tried, but Silver X takes it. The Zhongli and Raymarie combo coming in clutch. able to keep the shields up for the whole match with the Doki combination. GG. That was a close one. That was a good best of 3. That was a good best of 3. Honestly, I feel like either game, like any game in that one, could have just went either way. Like, every single game could have went either way in that one. But that Raymarie, the Raymarie feels undefeated. Raymarie just seems to be winning everything at the moment. Now, is there another game we can jump into? No. Wait. Adept was watching me watching. Holy. I'm not gonna lie. Towards the end of that game, I was secretly, I wanted to see the Jank do it. I wanted to see it. Jank has pulled out some clutch 1v4s for me. I was secretly maybe hoping for it. Man. So, do we have the brackets for the next round? So, it's going to be Silphirex versus XWX in semifinal 1. And in semifinal 2, it is going to be Kecker versus Dextra. So, some pretty big matchups there. Kecker making it all the way through to the semi-final, as I think most people predicted. But X is a scary opponent. So is Silphirex. Silphirex is on a bit of a tear here. This could be a interesting one. So who do you guys think is going to win between Silphirex and XXWX? Dextra's doing well too. Everybody's doing well. To make it to the semi-finals in a tournament like this, remember guys, this is all top players. Everybody in this tournament is a top player. Anybody on their day could win it. I don't know. Dextra versus Kecker. David versus Goliath. Whoever doesn't draft Luvia? What do you mean? In that last matchup, Luvia was 50-50. She won one match, she lost one. Dextra is a top player. I mean, if JoJo's a top player, then Dextra's one too. 10-minute break and then we go again. So, what do you guys think so far has been the best matchup of the tournament? Honestly, for me, I genuinely think it was that last matchup. Like Chocoviz versus Silphirex, every single game felt like it could go either way. Dex the underdog. Hey, everybody loves an underdog. And remember, guys, Relic in the hyperlinker, not the hyperlinker, the EWS qualifiers before, beat Kecker. So it's not undoable. I didn't even see who got timed out, Jojo. Yeah, I think that the X is coming in with. I feel like X has the most tools to use because he has all those CC units built and he is super fast. I feel like X has the most versatile stuff. And also, you need to keep in mind when you're drafting against X that he does have that stuff. Because you can't just draft like you're going into a standard turn 2 versus turn 2 matchup. Because you will get punished. Whereas against some other people, you may be able to get away with just drafting for a standard bruiser versus bruiser matchup with no funny business in the form of CC. Whereas against X, if you try that, it's not going to work. Unless you get really lucky and resist. Who's at the top of the ladder right now? Ooh, I'm way down there. Oh, Kecker's rank 1 at the moment. I don't know where X and Silver X are. Let's see. Let's see if we can find... Oh, Silver X is pushing. He's up at 20th. Now, where is X? I can't even remember what he changed his name to be honest. I know he had changed his name again, but I can't remember what it was. Hey, Sean B's up there. Top 50. Pushing. They're waiting for the classic Keckers final. So, remember guys, the next... He's rank 8? Oh, he changed his name to 8. Yeah, so he had. No, I don't think he's played all that much. Nope. Do. So, yeah. For the semifinals, I believe the semifinals and the finals are all going to be best of 5. So it's best of 5 for the semifinals and finals. So we may see some slight more draft adaptations depending how the game 1 and 2 goes. Because if you're 2-0 down, you need to change something. Because trying the same thing 3 times in a row, if it didn't work the first and second time, unless you were just super unlucky and you believe in what you did, is normally not the way to go. You normally have to try and throw a curveball in there or just completely change what you were doing to try and make it work. Now, cool. Thanks for that, Cast. So are me and Adept? So are we doing... Okay, so we're casting our own semi-finals. So I'll cast, I think, correct me if I'm wrong here, Cast, but I think I'm casting X versus Silver X. But then me and Adept are going to link up. We'll have the 3rd, 4th place matchup, and then we'll have the finals as well. We'll cast them together. Yeah, X is super strong, Brad. I was saying, like, X is one of these players that can just like hide and ladder for a while and then just comes out of nowhere and just blasts you. But Silver X has kind of been cooking too. I was skeptical of the Ray Marie and the Jean Lee both on Amber, but it's actually saved him in a couple of the games. Running no healer drafts with bruisers and just relying on that Amber for an extra life actually came in clutch for a couple of games. Did he? Very interesting. I will say though, we've had 4 Luvia games, I believe, and so far we've only seen 1 Luvia win. Luvia is currently 25%, I think. So, Brad, what is your take on Luvia? Because as I was saying, from what I've been hearing, top players have some mixed opinions on Luvia. Some people think she's super strong. Some people think she's pretty weak. What's yours? I think I agree with that, Brad. I think she's a high kind of skill cap champion. If you don't play her right, she's just kind of a... Because I really like her debuff as well. The debuff limiting healing can actually be super clutch against certain things. Like especially against things like a Tiamat. Super good into Amber as well, which we've seen in one of the games. Proccing the Amber when you have those debuffs on so that they go into Amber or into the ice state with very little health so you can just finish them off. It's basically like applying a wound. Yep. Yep. It's yeah, I just think she's a super cool champion. No, we haven't seen a Quano though, sadly. I was hoping we would maybe get one Quano game, but not quite there yet. I agree with the Quano. I feel like he's kind of like a... I think someone put it kind of good before, like a RGB Messiah. Slightly. I mean, ignoring a passive is like way better, but it's probably as close as a comparison as I think you can get. What's the popular consensus on Luvia's shell? I feel like most people are running Moon Bunny at the moment. Moon Bunny with Strive and Swift, and trying to run really fast so that you can get in front of everything and send what you want into the Shadow Realm before they actually get to take a turn. You were the RGB Messiah Sayer? There you go. It was glacial. But yeah, being able to get ahead of everything and send whatever you want into exile is just super powerful. But equally, if you're not able to and they get like a Ling the OS 3 up and they have Bulwark, it's... But yeah. I was wondering actually, Brad, if we were going to see... Oh, we can jump into the semi-finals match. So Dextra has made it to the semi-final against Kecker, and we are going to be watching Silpherex versus XXWX. So, looking forward to this one. I think this should be a tight game. both players have had to do really well to make it this far thus far. Like, very difficult brackets. Yeah, I'm ready when you guys are. Good luck to both of them. It was a very stacked tournament. Good practice as well for some of the people competing in the Hyperlinker Cup, I would assume. Okay, so what are we going to see banned out? And I know X was running the Fiamelia on Fortissimo for that extra healing. So the Fortissimo Fiamelia is removed as well as the Palin. So Silphirax going for the Zhang-Chi on first pick. Pretty stable first pick, but he's letting through the Luvia. So letting X take the Luvia. But he's running Luvia on Amber. Ooh. Interesting. Now, they're both running Sentinel on both of these. So looking to reduce the damage taken from crits. Now, what's the second pick going to be here from X? So goes for the Kathos. So gives him a lot of control between having the Kathos and the Luvia. Has the Exile to send someone away, as well as having the Kathos to either send someone back and reset. So super strong combo there on the 1-2 from second pick. What is Silphirax going to answer with? So takes that Raymarie. The Raymarie has been super stable for him in most of his games so far. Normally when he takes the Raymarie, he's been locking the Sanya to go with it, but will he go for something different this time? So far, or at least from the matches we've seen, I think this is the only Raymarie that we've seen on Amber that I can remember. So does take the Sanya. So what will X go for here? Is he going to opt into the Bruiser matchup? Or is he going to go for something a little bit more spicy? There is options available. Because the Sanya isn't the best into CC. Very good in the Bruiser matchup, but not the best healer into CC. Takes the Ling Luo. Probably one of the three best healers at the moment. And the Asal's still open, so takes the Asal. And then looking to take that Zhongli again on Amber, just giving him that extra little bit of safety. So far, everything on the side of Silphirax, except for the Sanya, is on Amber. Now, the other good thing about running an Amber into things like Asal, if you opt to go for that matchup, when they come out of the Amber state, they will have all the stacks reset. And then goes for the Lilium on 3. So the Lilium on 3 potentially knowing that the CC was going to come on 5, potentially saying that he's happy to take that trade, but locks the Navette. Now, what are the bans going to be here? I would still assume that the Navette gets banned. It does. So the Navette and the Lilium are both banned, both banning what was picked on 5. So the Asal is through. So with the Asal being through, I feel like this comp is on a little bit of a timer. However, like I said before, the Ambers being in this game will be able to reset the Asal stacks on the units. Asal will still have the stacks that she generates on herself, but they'll be able to get back to normal stats, at least for a little bit. So who is he going to S3 here? He could opt to go for the Sanya and just remove all healing, but I would assume he opts to go for one of the slower units, or something like what Watchum did and go for the Zhang-Chi. Goes for the Sanya and removes all of the healing from the team. Okay. Sends the S3. Gets the S3 up onto the Zhongli. So the shield here is super important because, like I say, the Sanya is in exile. So there is no serious sustain on the side of Silphirax until she comes back from that exile. So who is he going to focus with the S3 on the Asal? Or is he just going to send the S2 and try and strip while also stacking across everybody? Goes for the S3, manages to get the defense buff off of 2, but importantly doesn't get off of the Zhongli. So the Zhongli's damage is still going to be relatively good, unless it just gets stripped here by the Kathos. So the Kathos could send the S3 into the Zhongli, putting the defense break on her, and getting rid of that defense buff. But he will not be able to cooldown reset anybody, because that Zhongli is in that S3 state. So does go for the Zhongli and manages to land the defense break. Now, none of these units, except for the Sanya, are on Archon, so probably everything is going to stick every time that X goes to try and land it. The Raymarie procs here deals decent damage. Now, if the Raymarie was able to get up in front, the Asao would be in a scary position. But the Ling Lo still has the S3 here, so is going to be able to full heal the team. Now, with these debuffs stacked, the damage is actually going to eventually pop for some decent damage. Now, the Sanya will come out of exile, but I don't think she'll be able to take her turn quick enough to do any healing before all of these debuffs pop. So he's trying to focus down the Asal so that he can get an S1 into Terminate, and is that enough? It is! The Asal's out!
Be grateful. Your sins are cleansed.
Oh! Is that enough? I think it might be, because this Sanya's going to come back. And then we'll eventually be able to heal up the team. And because everything's on Amber and they can't be reset, there is no way to just kill the... Oh, but having the debuff on has put them at low health. If this Kathos can cut in front again... Oh, the Kathos is in front. So the Kathos may just be able to kill off this Zhongli here. I don't think the Luvia will have enough damage, but the Kathos probably will. But even if he kills off, the Sanya hasn't actually moved yet, so he still has the S3 if he wanted to bring back. I don't know if bringing back at this point would be the right play. It may be. In fact, I think it would be, just so that you have 4 units on the field with Luvia still being here. Because the Luvia is on Amber, so she's not that easy to get rid of. Because even if you try and kill her once, she still has that extra save. And the Kathos doesn't have enough damage to kill the Zhongli. So the Zhongli is back. Oh, and he's trying to get the Luvia into Terminate range. Not quite there, though. Has the S3 here on the Zhongqi. Does he... Just goes for the S1, saving the S3. So the Sanya here gets the turn stolen. A lot of control still left on the side of X. So the Zhongli has ran out of her S3 because she died. So he will be able to cooldown increase here. Who does he choose to focus? Goes on to the Zhongqi, trying to get the Zhongqi out of the game.
I can endure this.
Still 2 turns away from the S3 on the Zhongli. Manages to hit the cooldown increase across most of the team. And the Zhongqi is out. But this Raymarie is dangerously close to proccing. And she's going.
Hear the words of absolution.
Puts the Luvia into the Amber state. Is that going to be enough, though? He still has the S3, I believe, on the Sanya. So he will be able to bring back.
Shouldn't have messed up.
Oh, no! The Jean... Oh. Very smart play there. The Jean Li cutting in front stopped the Sanya from getting off the S3, so he's able to kill off the Jean Li. Very smart play there. And now he has the S3, so he's in a 1v1. 1v1 versus Raymarie. This is still a scary 1v1 because if this Raymarie brambles, she could still win it. But he's just relying on the brambles now. But he does still have that amber. But it's about to be reset. Even if it's not reset and he misses, as long as he has a couple of these debuffs, she's going to go into that ice state with very little health. He didn't miss. So when this Raymarie dies, she is dead. She won't go into that ice state. So he has the S1. The Raymarie's going down. Will the Sanya can bring someone back? Surely it's the Raymarie. Oh, he doesn't go for the Raymarie. He goes for the Zhongqi. He's opting to try and get more turn cycling so that he can try and survive for a bit longer. The Zhongqi also deals pretty decent damage into what's left on the side of X.
I can endure this.
Goes for the S3 onto the Zhongqi. The Sanya cuts in front though, so we'll get rid of that defense break. And the Zhongqi's down again. This is looking like a win for X now. X takes game 1. Holy, that was looking slightly bad for X there after the Assault went down so early, but was able to just maintain that control with the Kethos and the Luvia and win out the 4 versus 3. Very cool game 1. Showing the power of Luvia and Kethos together as a control duo. You don't need to have a full control team to have that much control. As long as you have like 2 parts that can control, you can basically run a control team with other parts. With the Ling Lo and the Assault there for damage. So, same pre-bans as last time. This time, Silphirex going for the Zhongqi again on first pick. Or takes the, yeah, Zhongqi on first pick. Going for that Luvia and the Kethos again from the side of X. Just waiting till he locks it to confirm. He has locked it. So will Silphirex change anything? Or does he like his draft and just felt like a couple of things going slightly differently would have won him the game? So takes the Raymarie again. Will he go for the Sanya again? Or will he opt to steal the Ling Lo? Does he think the Ling Lo is part of the problem? Or does he go for something different? Does he take the Assault? Takes the Ling Lo. Looking to put that immunity up so that hopefully the... Well, it depends what the ban is, but it's meaning that he doesn't have to potentially think about a forced ban CC unit on 5 if he has that Ling Lo. So the Assault taken again. And opting for... Does he lock in the Jean Li again? He's thinking about it. Oh, switches it over to the Navette. This time, he's looking to be the one that's in control. Now, the thing with this is, he must know the speed of the Luvia from that previous matchup. I would assume he looked at the speed so that he knows he should be faster. And then takes the Tiamat. So a lot of damage on the side of Silphirex. At the moment, the primary damage dealer on the side of X is that Assault. X looking to take the Nahor. Still looking So this is a very high control side from X. He has essentially 3 control units on his side with a healer and a damage dealer. Very scary team from the side of X. So who are they going to ban? Do the mind games get through? I would assume that they both just ban the CC units and then we're playing very similar matchup to what it was before. Oh, he doesn't ban the Nahor. He's let the Nahor through and he's believing in the Ling Lo to actually be able to get rid of that CC. If she can't cleanse that CC, this could be a very quick game. Okay, so the Nahor goes out. Does he land? Lands the freeze on everybody. Even hits the Ling Lo. However, he does have that Zhang-Chi on his side, so he will be able to turn meter push pretty quickly. As you can see, the Zhang-Chi is already cut back in front of the Nahor in the turn meter gauge. So the Asal's going to go here, but who is she going to focus? Does he go do the same as he did last time and go for the S2 to try and spread across everybody? Or is he going to primarily focus one unit down this game? Silphirex does have the Ambers across 3 of his units again, but this time he doesn't have that safety net in the Sanya for a revive. So the Kethos here going for the S3, lands onto the Raymarie but doesn't hit the pushback, only applies the defense break, so he's not going to be able to get in front and press that S2 to cooldown increase before the Ling Lo gets her S3 off. Which is going to stop the next S3 from the Nahor. That is actually massive for Silphirex. That might have actually just won him the game. In fact, I think it's still okay on the side of... It still might be okay on the side of X, because the Kethos is probably going to... No, he didn't. Okay, so gets the S3 off here, so he has the immunity, so there's no more follow-up that can land from the Nahor. He can only go for the S2 onto one unit to try and CC them. But which one does he choose at this point? Who is he going to send that S2 onto? There's a lot of good options here. Sends it onto the Zhang-Chi. Oh. So, all the while this is going on though, this Asal is just stacking. But the Tiamat's finally transformed. Tiamat's going to get her turn, and then the Kethos is going to steal the turn off the Ling Lo, but the Raymarie's going to proc in between that. Is that enough to kill off the Nahor? Not quite. Not quite. S3 here. No. So the Sanya's going to be able to heal up, and then the Kethos is going to steal the turn of the Ling Luo. That was a smart play. I think he tried to S1 the Zhang-Chi to push the Zhang-Chi in front of the Ling Luo so that he stole the turn off the Zhang-Chi instead. And is this enough to terminate the Asal? No! 15%! It wasn't enough! Oh, you can't get closer than that. Oh, Silphirex must be raging. That was so close. And now the Nahor is able to get the S3 off and control the rest of the team. The Ling Lo still has the immunity though. But most of her cleansing ability is now gone. She's sent the S3 and the S2 already. Kathos has the S3 here. Going into the Zhongqi. Oh, he hasn't sent his S2. Does he hit? Hit on didn't get the Tiamat. But did get the Raymarie. Now, importantly though, the Raymarie's already at 9 stacks, so she has significantly reduced health. So her damage isn't going to be nearly as high. And this Asal is getting tankier and tankier as the games go on.
Strike first.
So, has the S3 here. Who does he opt to send the S3 into? Does he try and save? Does he go for the Asal? He goes for the Asal. So he has an S3 on the Asal and the Kathos. At this point, the Nahor has basically done his job. He's not going to have any cooldowns for a long time because of the Codex. He might eventually get to an S2 again, but I don't think he'll be able to survive the AoE for long enough. So he's basically just sacrificing the Nahor at this point. This Raymarie is about to proc. So once he hits here, the Raymarie procs. So does he opt to try and go into someone like the Tiamat and risk a Bramble? He does. The Raymarie procs. Does the Tiamat Bramble? She doesn't. So he has the S3 here. Could go into the Raymarie again and continue stacking on the Raymarie, or could decide to split and go into someone else and start stacking on them as well. The Asal's already at 11 stacks herself. Continues to go into the Raymarie. Put the Raymarie at 19 stacks now. Got the Battle Will proc. And popped her into Amber. I don't know if that's the best. I don't know if you actually wanted to Amber there. I'm unsure.
I can endure this.
So now S2 gets the cooldown increase.
There's the opening.
The Asal though. The Asal's at 19 stacks. S2 here and she'll be at max. The Tiamat's instantly dead. And then he gets the Battle Will proc onto the Zhongli and ambers him as well.
In time.
And that is the power of the fully stacked Asal. He has the S3 here. So he can heal up the rest of the team that's in Amber. Does he opt to send it? Just goes for the S2. But this Asal is coming back round. Now the Raymarie does have 100 on the passive, so he is going to get a double proc here, but is it enough to do anything? Oh, the Kathos is so low, but it's not quite enough. He has another S3 here on the Sanya, so he can choose to put this into either the Kathos or to the Asal, or he could even put it into the Sanya Asal. Puts it into the Sanya. He now has 1 stack across everybody, so he has increased max HP on everybody. He has the S3 here on the Linglo, so he can get the immunity up, which will potentially... at this point in the game, I don't think the immunity is all that useful. He's still going to go for the S3. Does it land? Strips everything.
Strike first.
So has the defense break here onto the Raymarie. Has the S3 here on... Oh, the Bramble! The Bramble from the Asal. Oh, and the Raymarie brambled and terminated the Kathos. Oh, the Raymarie is so close to... She's so close to death and to proccing. What's happening? Oh, my... This could go either way. The Raymarie's about to proc. When the Raymarie procs here, she should be able to just terminate the Asal.
Hear the words of absolution.
There's the opening.
The Asal cuts! Does he have enough damage? goes for the S1, just opts to kill off the Raymarie so they can't be terminated. That way he can potentially go for the revive if he needs to. Well, now the Zhang-Chi needs to focus down the Sanya because he can't really kill this the Asal. The Asal has too many stacks of the Menace, so she's just going to keep coming back. Oh, it was so close. And then he puts the S3 onto the Sanya so that he can increase the overall healing, and I think that's game. Gets more stacks onto the Zhang-Chi, and the Zhang-Chi is out, and he doesn't have a Sanya this time to revive anybody, so that is game 2 to X. What is Silver X going to change? It's a best of 5 Silver X. Is it? I could have swore it was a best of 5. Once. Do. 1 second. Do. Oh. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought we were doing semis and final best of 5. That is my fault. That game, honestly, could have went either way. That was insane. My voice is going. That was a great game. I wanted more. Bok is going to be mute tomorrow? No, I'm not. I'll stream tomorrow. I'll be fine. Merge streams with Adept. Okay, how do we do this? I've never done this. Right, let's try this. Chrome and Firefox. One second, guys. I'm just sorting some stuff out with Adept because I think we're merging at this point for the finals and stuff. Did that work? Hello, Adept. Hello, Adept.
Yo, what's up?
Not much, yourself? Just enjoying some hype games?
Bro, there was some games that were just crazy. That was just crazy.
Well, yeah. What would you say has been your favorite matchup of the tournament so far?
Oh, the favorite match of hold on, let me think. Bro, there were so many. There were so many good games actually. Bro, there were some games where I was like screaming, bro, do not press AoE. Homie will bramble you. And then he just pressed AoE and he got brambled. those were the most exciting games, I'll be honest. What about you?
Do you know what? Honestly, I think for me it was that last matchup. Straight away, XXWX, his Asal got killed, and he was in a 4 versus 3 with Linglo, Kathos, and Luvia. And he just fully controlled the team with those 3 units and won from there against a Raymarie, a Sanya, Jean Li, and some other stuff. Like full CC with just those 3 units. It was insane. And then that last matchup, literally everything was on 0 health. One Bramble could have just decided the game either way.
Bro, that sounds crazy. So you're saying Luvia is balanced, fair and balanced?
She's very balanced if you play CC. She makes CC she made CC great again. What do you mean?
Damn. So we are just pre-banning her and CC is still trying.
No, you just pick Nahar. Nahar just negates Nahar negates Archon because he puts res down on with the S3.
I mean, then he has to hit his res down first, no?
Yeah, but Nahar always lands.
We believe in Nahor. We always believe in him.
Mm-hmm.
Hold
So
on, let me check. Do you have Chrome?
no, that's the issue, which it's just popped up for me.
Yeah, same. So don't have Chrome. I guess we just go like that, no?
Yeah, either that or yeah, I'm fine to just do this.
Yeah, hold on. We're taking 10-minute break, right?
No, the Kecker room's up now, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Ooh. So are we getting... Did Kecker win his match? Did he beat Dextra?
Yeah, he won 2-0, and it was actually mega close because Keka is not running his Linglo on immunity, and then Dexter was just going double CC, and then yeah, it was very, very close. Like Dexter was about to kill one unit to base close out the game, and then just he didn't manage to. Keka was too beefy. He was too beefy.
Ooh. I mean,
Just outcycled DCC.
X has been playing some CC and more of a control play style. Just to double check, the finals is best of 5. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, I think it should be best of 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's best of 5.
Okay.
Okay, are you ready to see the same 8 units again?
No, we've been getting different units. X has been living it up. Oh, he's banned Deluvia. Respect ban. So
okay.
we do have the Zhang-Chi ban though.
Zhang-Chi. Yeah, Zhang-Chi was absolute menace. I'll be honest, it's so hard to deal with him. He always pushes your entire team. He counters so many fucking matchups. It's crazy.
Ooh.
Do we have a Kalos on 1 maybe?
Kathos on 1.
Yep.
So I think that X has been running his Kathos with a bit more of a EA. So he's been running less HP, less crit, but running more of that accuracy build to make sure that he lands everything.
Damn. Okay, that was actually interesting because I was like co-casting, like I was watching you casting it, and then I was kind of co-casting it, and I was like, damn, Kados is like lower HP,
Yeah.
so he has a lower chance to hit, and then he just still hit. I was so surprised.
Yeah, because he's running that effect accuracy on him so that he actually is able to hit. So interesting, Kekker's running Archon on everything so far.
Yeah.
X hasn't really been doing that. He's been running more Sentinel on most things, with Archon on some.
He stole the Palin. I think he didn't want to give the Palin, but no.
Oh,
He got the Fia
but
on
we get the
Kekker's.
locked Fia with Fortissimo, which is super good in these turn 2 versus turn 2 matchups.
The Fortissimo is coming through. I cannot believe it.
Yeah,
Fortissimo, there it is.
Fortissimo Fia is the way at the moment in these turn 2 versus turn 2 matches.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Like, can you remember when I was like first cooking with Fia and I was saying like Fortissimo might be good?
Yeah, I remember it being a lot of cope, but it's happened now. You were right.
The cope is coming through. Believe in the process.
So goes for the Linglo and then takes the Navette. So this is something that X has been doing in almost every single game, taking a CC option on 5, either the Navette or the Nahor on 5.
Damn, okay.
Oh.
So I would assume homie is like full accuracy, no?
Yeah.
CC units?
Yeah, and then Kekker thinking about going for the Sanya on Reaper with Archon. So that'll be zooming if he actually decides to
Yeah.
let anything with debuffs through.
Yeah, I think this Sanya is full res. Like
Oh, but
res.
switches
Oh,
off to the Fushu at the end. So a lot of people have switched their Fushu builds onto a Cure Fushu so that you get
Yeah.
increased healing coming out from the Fushu. And a lot of people are actually struggling to deal with it if they let the Tiamat through, because the Tiamat doesn't have enough sustained damage unless she brambles enough to actually out-damage the Fushu's healing.
Yeah. And Fusho also like moves his entire team very fast. So oh, he still bans the Navette. I thought he will not ban the Navette because of Fusho and push.
See, I didn't think he would ban... I thought he would ban the Navette if he was taking the Fushu. If he went for the Sanya, I thought he was going to let it through. I think he's just trusting that his Fushu doesn't get reset here.
Bro, I think this Fusho is
But
just mega full res.
But I don't know. I think this Kathos has been landing on everything. Remember, this Kathos is red going into the Fushu, and I'm pretty sure it's a full accuracy Kathos.
Okay, let's see.
Does he land? This
land?
honestly could decide the game.
I'm so curious. Let's see. Are we going for the S3 or are we just going S2? Oh, we go S3 immediately. Okay.
I think I would have went for the S2 personally, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't have wanted to
resist!
on the Fushu, but hit everybody else importantly.
Period brilliance.
Okay, let's see. Can we play the game? Yeah, I'll be honest. I think the Fucho pushes enough to cycle his team to get the cooldowns back.
Probably, but I feel like he's gonna have to hit into this Tiamat, and if this Tiamat brambles a couple of times and then Battle Will proc.
Battle will. Who doesn't like 30% AoE push on this one? I take it.
And this Tiamat steals the turn. Wait, that's actually huge. So now this Zhongli is still sitting with her cooldown increased. So she's going to be a full other rotation before she actually gets this S3 off. So he's going to be sitting for most of the game without the S3 on the Zhongli.
This Zhongli is like, she's just a dead unit.
She's a
not
dead
doing
unit.
anything.
She's defense broken and she's not got her S3 up. She's just here for the ride at this point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Intriguing.
Yeah, I'm curious. Like, can we even?
Is anything at... the Palin's actually pretty low, but he still has 5 threat on the Tiamat, so it's pretty safe.
The Bramble.
Touch me. Target acquired.
Yeah, I don't know. This Zhongli is about to move into S3, and Katos needs to S3 the Zhongli again. Otherwise, she will get to play the game.
Got the S1 here. Gets up another Bramble.
Intriguing.
Yeah, I don't know.
The
if the
Tiamat's
is
not
actually good.
The Tiamat's not doing enough into the Fushu. The Fushu's out healing the damage. And it's
Yeah,
just
and
it's
she's
just
just
giving a lot
funneling.
it's just giving a lot of damage for this Raymarie to proc over and over.
Exactly, yeah.
But he is gonna S2 the Zhongli again though. And then eventually this Fushu is going to run out. If he can sustain long enough until this Fushu... She resisted!
Resist!
Grateful.
Oh,
The accuracy Kados is fumbling the bag.
oh, but is the Tiamat might be enough. The Tiamat! Oh, the Tiamat!
The Tiamat!
The Bramble!
Oh!
Oh, and that's bad. Because now this Fushu is going to run out. And I don't think... Like, there's a lot of sustain now on the side of 8 compared to Kacker. Because once this Fushu runs out, probably GG.
Yeah. And now we got another S3
But
for the Paladin.
there's still a Raymery. So Raymery can do Raymery things.
Still struggling?
No, if this Raymery can do anything here, Kados also about to steal a turn. Fia would probably pass the Fucho. Yeah.
Oh,
So we will steal the turn of Fia and Fucho will run out and... I don't know.
does he go for the S2 here and just extend all his... Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He does.
Oh, this looks,
There's so many whale prayers as well.
this looks so nasty.
Now,
This two-turn Bramble chance again.
who does he go for the S3 on? Goes for the Raymery. Gets the defense break.
Now, hear the words of absolution.
Oh, and this is looking...
Oh,
Oh, it
it's
brambles
good.
again!
Oh, it's so cooked. Oh, it's so cooked.
Target.
The Fushu is
S3.
out of S3.
Oh my god. Yeah, this looks... Oh, I don't know. Do you go for the S2? Risk the Bramble here? I don't know.
Goes for the S2. Gets the defense break on 2. Didn't get the cooldown increase.
First Bramble. Oh, Ray will proc here.
Ray's proccing here.
And I think this
Is-
will be nasty.
It's not enough.
Yeah.
The
I think
Fia
it's like
healing!
one turn
The
down.
Fortissimo healing from Fia puts the Raymery to full!
Bro, this Fortissimo's balance. What's going on here?
Trust me.
Oh,
Oh my god.
and the Tiamat.
Another.
The Tiamat.
Another Bramble. Yeah, this is crazy. This Fia Fucho comp is sustaining the Tiamat damage. Tiamat is funneling this Raymery to go ballistic.
But this Fia is about to... Oh, full heal again.
Bro, this Fia is cooking. What is going
And the
on? Guys,
Tiamat's-
write it down.
The Tiamat's pretty low, so the damage that's going to come out from her isn't actually going to be that great. And the
And we're
Fushu's
just-
back into S3, so I think
back to
Kekker's
S3.
out of the danger zone.
Yeah, and Ray has S3 ready to kill. Back-to-back S3 is incoming.
He has the S3 here on the Kathos though, so he needs to go for the S3 into the cooldown increase.
He needs to hit it. But I think Ray has high HP. Oh, he got it. Ooh!
Oh, but he's stunned! The Bramble stun! Oh,
The Bramble
the Bramble
Lord have
stun.
mercy. Oh, Lord have mercy upon his soul.
And now the Raymery's going to proc when the Tiamat goes.
Yeah. Yep. This Kados is a goner. Palin might be gone too. Oh, not enough. Oh, it's enough.
Rest now. Hear the words of absolution.
And gone. Both gone. Ooh. Ray Mary S1 dead. Yep. GG's.
Ooh.
Damn.
Oh, and that's game 1. Game
Yeah,
1
I'll be
going to
honest.
Kacker.
I'll be honest, this XL, she was just there for the ride. That was crazy.
Oh,
Like, she was just not doing anything.
sorry about that. Apparently my stream's died.
Tell Bog his stream died. Yeah, Bog, your stream died. Damn. Yeah, the Fortissimo cook, guys. Write it down. I was the first one, but it was in the cope era. It was cope back then. Now it's not cope. Now it's crazy. Write it down. Make your homework. Oh, the Palin pre-ban. Palin pre-ban. He doesn't want to give the Palin to Kacker. Olivia first pick into Axie on 1. Then Acelon 2. But Palin is... do we take away the Sanya though?